Okay.
I was a little surprised, but.
All right. So, what's the plan if something were to happen to one of y'all?
Well, I mean, my husband hates talking about that stuff.
Okay.
And that's why I'm here today, because I'm a little bit more worried about that, especially with the twins coming. And so he makes, more money than I do, so I get a little bit nervous about that. But I mean, my mom and dad are still alive and they're retired, so I either sell the house and go move with them because I'm a teacher, I could work anywhere, or they kind of live with us or in our home. But I don't know what he'd do, so we haven't really talked about it.
Is that what you want to do, or is that what you have to do?
It's probably what we'd have. We have so many kids, and I still have to work, I imagine, with 5 kids. So.
Has anybody ever talked to you about life insurance, or is that? I mean,
we
aside from what you have at work.
I mean, someone mentioned to us before, and we kind of postponed it. But then, I know we need to think about it because we have so many kids, and we just kept postponing it. So.
Okay.
But yeah, I know we probably need to do something. But don't you think, we already have it through work too, wouldn't you think that would be enough coverage through work?
Well,
to take care of a lot of the big expenses that we have?
I don't know, what is it that you want for the kids? I mean, if you're going to keep working, are you paying for childcare now?
We are, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how much does that cost?
That's about like $500 a month. I mean, a week. So about $2,000
okay.
a month.
So, just kind of real quick doing the math, and not knowing what he has in his 401k, $300,000 in his life insurance, you probably burn through that pretty quickly. Ultimately, with you, I want to make sure that you're sleeping at night and you're comfortable. I mean, if you feel like this is sufficient for you, then great. If it's something that you'd be interested in looking at or discussing further with you and your husband, that's something that we can look at.
Okay.
Is that something that interests you?
Yeah, I mean, I think I at least need more coverage on him, for sure. And he'd probably be able to, he makes more money than I do. He could probably sell a property or two, but yeah, I think it's something that I'd probably want to talk, have both of us talk about together.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, okay, so here's kind of what I'm seeing as your risk advisor. First couple things here. We don't ever want to go 5 years without talking again. Okay. I kind of look at managing risk kind of like, going to the dentist. You do it regularly. You go in, you get your teeth checked, get your teeth cleaned. Once a year, it's usually a pretty painless affair. Put it off 5 or 10 years, sometimes there's blood, pain, and tooth pulling.
Okay.
Every once in a while, I get somebody in here with ridiculously low liability limits and all other kinds of gaps in coverage. They're not getting discounts that they're entitled to. All different kinds of things can change because people invariably will get married, they get divorced, they have children, whatever. Things change, and for example, your liability limits here were set up at least 5 years ago, if not sooner, and they're really not appropriate for where you guys are right now. Okay. Your exposure is in excess of $1 million, truly. So my first recommendation is that we look at rejiggering your liability limits and seeing if we can't get you into $1 million personal liability umbrella policy. Okay. In addition to that, we need to look at probably an unexpected or premature death plan, which may or may not include life insurance. Okay. And we probably want to look at your retirement savings. We want to make sure that's lined up correctly. Now, typically what we'll do in a situation like that is we do a client portfolio review, it looks like this.
Mhm.
And basically what I'd have you do is put together, do you have any, in addition to your retirement accounts, do you have any IRAs or 401ks with previous employers or anything?
I don't.
Okay.
But like I know I almost started a Roth IRA like 5 years ago, and
Uh-huh.
then I had put it off. So
Now, did you know that that's something that I can help you with?
I didn't know that.
Okay, that is most certainly something that, that I do. And what we would do is I'd have you, we set up a follow-up appointment.
Okay.
You get quarterly statements on your 403B, and then he gets quarterly statements on his 401K. Any other bank account statements, mortgage statements, bring everything in, and we're going to do a fact finder.
Okay.
And then we're going to do a risk tolerance on it. Basically what we want to know is, where do you want to be 5 years from now? Where do you want to be 10 years from now, 20 years from now? And what is your retirement picture look like, in your head? And then make sure that what you're doing is going to get you to where you want to go.
Okay.
Now you go to a financial planner, a fee-based one, you're going to pay $1,200 for this. Now this is something that we offer to our policyholders as a benefit for being a policyholder. That's what makes us better than our competitors.
That's great.
Yes. So
I was going to ask you how much you charge.
No. Yeah. So oftentimes we do this thing, and I bring in my corporate financial services guy. He's a really good-looking guy, not a whole lot of hair on the top of his head, but he dresses nice. He'll come in and he'll help us do an analysis of this thing. Sometimes we look at it and you're great, and then you get a pat on the back because you're doing all the right things. Occasionally we identify some misalignments between what your tolerance for risk is and the way you're invested. And that comes about because, you're setting aside money and you're doing it automatically and you're not really looking at it. I mean, you get a quarterly statement, but how often do you look at it? Or for that matter, talk with a financial services professional that can really dissect it for you and explain it to you.
Okay.
So why don't we do this? I'll have Annalise, if it's okay with you, follow up with you later in the week.
Okay.
Because what I'd like to do is I'd like to get y'all both in.
Okay.